The number one criteria for are you a Pro Football Hall of Famer is, in 97 years of pro football, do they have to tell your story to be able to tell the story of pro football? And you cannot tell the story of the NFL the last 20 years and not include T.O.
I'm revisiting this topic because I completely disagree with Cris here. And I really don't think, when I say disagree with Cris, I really don't disagree with Cris because that is the mantra from Hall of Fame voters. That is the standard they came up with for the Hall of Fame. Do we have to include you in telling the NFL story? I think it's a bad standard. I don't think it's the right standard. And I've argued this for several years. I've argued with Peter King and some of the Hall of Fame voters about it. Listen, in order to tell the NFL story properly, you may have to tell Ray Caruth's story as well. There's a lot of guys that leave a mark on the story of the NFL. I think there should really just be two standards. Was he a great player? And was he a great teammate that contributed to winning? Because that's what sports are about. Winning and a team environment and being a great player. Terrell Owens, awesome, great, first ballot Hall of Famer as a player. As a teammate, he's an F, and that negates some of what he did as a great player. I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He won 57% of his games, which is what Bill Parcells won. I think it's very dangerous territory to get into personalities. Vin Scully's a Hall of Famer. I don't know what he's doing at home. I don't know if
he doesn't play on a team.
Well, he plays in a broadcast team. He could be the worst guy in the world to work with.
No,
I don't care.
He doesn't play on a team. They keep a scoreboard to see who can win.
Newsroom. How's the column? I don't give a rip how you get along in the newsroom. I don't care.
That's not a team. They're not keeping score.
Is this a team? Is a newsroom a team?
Absolutely, and how you get along and how you contribute to an overall winning environment matters.
I think it's look at our president-elect. Is he a part of a team? He doesn't get along with half the country or half the people.
That could be a problem.
He doesn't get along with the CIA.
And that's why he won't be in the Hall of Fame of presidents.
Let's let Cris defend. Come on, Cris, jump in here.
I mean, there's really no defense. The person has over 15,000 yards, has over 150 touchdowns. I don't know where you're going to put him. I mean, he fits the requirements to be in Canton. All these other things, your personality, all that, they have nothing to do. They have zero to do, all right? There's 53 guys on the roster, all right? And you are measured, all right, on how you do. That's what the Hall is. The Hall is not a team award. This is an individual accomplishment. Now, there are people in the Hall because they've been on great teams.
Yes.
But there's a bunch of us in the Hall because we were great. Not we were on great teams, because we were great.
The standard I just stated wasn't about you had to be on a great team. It had to do with whether or not you contributed as a great teammate and was seen as a part of contributing to a winning environment, because that's what they play the game for.
That's not the criteria the other guys were judged by.
That's a subjective criteria.
All of it's subjective.
No, it's not.
No, the stats are hard and fast.
All of it's subjective. You can make the stats say anything.
No,
what can we make the stats say?
We can't make...
He's the third, I mean...
He's the top 5 receiver all time.
Right.
Look, some guys played in an era where they threw it a million
Are they
times.
in the Hall?
What?
Are they in the Hall?
Like
all these guys who had all these receptions, are they in the Hall?
Not all of them.
Most of them.
So their stats didn't get them there.
So what I'm saying...
And that's what I'm saying. There can be other criteria. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We evaluate people on different criteria all the time. It can be about the stats, and it can also be about were they let go by 4 or 5 different teams. I think that says something about his football career.
Once you let in somebody with mediocre stats who was a swell guy,
Who's saying that? I said there's 2 criteria. You got to do both. You got to put up numbers and be a damn great player.
So let me ask you this.
And you have to...
Okay, so let me ask you this.
So Lawrence Taylor.
What about him?
He deserves to be in the Hall. Was he a great teammate?
Let me just say, Lawrence Taylor...
I mean, we don't know.
No. I think Lawrence Taylor's performance and his impact was so off the charts. They changed the game for him. Right. They basically created that out that it almost doesn't matter what he did off the field. Terrell Owens doesn't meet that standard. Terrell Owens doesn't meet that standard.
No problem. 150 touchdowns.
That's a very flexible Now you're telling me you
Hey,
just...
man,
Very
we're acting like
subjective.
Hall of Fame voters don't do this all the time. They do it in baseball.
But why-
Well, no
so-
one can think. All we can do is look at the stats, and we got to make a decision.
Well, again, I
That's
don't
crazy.
like what baseball's doing with Curt Schilling. Stay off social media, look at his numbers. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't like his tweets. Well, that's not part of the... To me, if you want to clarify this, it's like...
Just make it about the stats. The Fantasy Football Hall of Fame.
Well, no. Just make it about production. You said...
That's not the only thing organizations make decisions on.
Well,
because you know why? Because Terrell Owens produced everywhere, and organizations somehow let him go.
But they also acquired him after he'd done that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Somebody did. There's a sucker born every minute. Andy Reid wanted him and then let him go. Other organizations did the same thing.
But that-
You're acting like general managers
No.
and coaches just sit around and go, well, he produced.
No.
We better
They
sign him."
do. By the way, now they get tired of him, but your argument's working against it. You're saying there's a sucker born every minute. Only reason Moss went to the Patriots is his production. So if you're productive, you will get
I wouldn't
3,
compare
4, 5.
I wouldn't compare Randy Moss.
You're adding these nebulous factors which are difficult.
No one can make these decisions.
Well-
I mean, coaches make them all the time, but the rest of us mere mortals, we can't make those
you
decisions.
and I have different personalities. Who you think's cocky, I think's confident. Who you think is a jerk, I think is confident. So you could say he's not a good team guy. Most of these great athletes are selfish. Was Kobe a great teammate?
Kobe, now we're comparing Terrell Owens to Kobe. Kobe's got 5 rings.
Well-
It's not even close.
Yo's one of the 3 best
He
receivers.
doesn't have 5 rings. He's
It's not
not
his
Deion
fault.
Now
Sanders.
you've
not
moved
his
it into
fault.
ring territory.
Dude, there's a bunch of variables. Okay, we've decided it can only be one thing: stats.